Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're going to be going back into Explore. A lot of it's because, well, I've been having a lot of fun playing this list. We're currently in Platinum, so it's only the third of the month too, so I'm pretty excited to play with this a little bit more and probably just like rank up to Mythic and then go back to playing Magic Online, because that's usually what I do when I do bother to play Arena. But this is a fun list. Like, I've seen a couple of other versions of this, of course, that are a lot more spirit focused, and we decided to change this around from the last iteration of this, but we're going to keep a lot of the late game stuff. We took out 2 of the Shark Typhoons, but of course 2 are still going to be here, and we're going to be playing Cemetery Illuminator, which I think is going to end up being a really big deal for a couple of reasons. First of all, it provides a lot of the same card advantage that cards like Shark Typhoon would anyway, so it's not like you're necessarily going, you know, minus cards by playing Cemetery Illuminator over Shark Typhoon. But what you gain by playing Illuminator in the main is a little bit of increased percentage points against decks like Greasefang and decks like Is It Phoenix, both of which are looking to use the graveyard. And the more you get to play with and attack with Cemetery Illuminator, the less that you're going to have to worry about things like Parhelion 2 and Archetype Phoenix coming out of opposing graveyards. It's also not bad against things like Croxus, so A1 for that. We have also changed around the spectral adversaries to be rattle chains. We have a lot of protective stuff going on for our 1-drops, our spectral sailors, and our ascendant spirits, and I think I kind of want to keep that little pain train going by, you know, guaranteeing that I'm able to give my friends hexproof versus maybe kicking spectral adversary and getting rid of opposing things. Spectral Adversary has been really good for getting rid of things like Greasefangs and vehicles, for getting rid of giant attackers like opposing Ledger Shredders, things of that nature. But I don't know that playing Rattle Chains is even like worse than either of those options, because a lot of those same decks will play cards like Strangle, Fatal Push, Flame Blessed Bolt, Lightning Axe, all kinds of removals to get rid of your Spectral Sailors and your Ascendant Spirit. So I do like having the extra layer of protection for 2 fewer mana when you play Rattle Chains over Spectral Adversary. But the 1-drop spots, we're keeping those the same because those were really impressive the entire time. Like, we like the Spell Pierces, the UC Guard Approaches, the Fading Hopes, and of course the core of the deck, the Curious Obsessions and the 1-drops. We're keeping the Counterspell suite the same as we had it before, with 4 Lofties and 2 Geistlight Snares. I did like that before, and I think I still like it now. You could change this around to playing 2 copies of Lofty Denial and 4 copies of Geistlight Snare. If you really wanted to do that, that's totally an option. Or if you are finding yourself fighting a lot of Greasefang and a lot of decks with low to the ground creatures that cost 1 or 2, maybe you can swap out Ascendant Spirit for Lantern Bearer. So just like another thing to kind of consider, right? To make sure that your Curious Obsessions are going to hit a lot more. I'm actually not going to wear a hat today. Go away. Y'all can see my fucked up hairline. But the sideboard is another thing that we've changed around quite a bit. So we're going to keep Witness Protection because this card has been very, very good. Oh, and I must have accidentally taken 1 out because I don't want 4 negates. I want 4 copies of Witness Protection. So let's do that now. And let's pretend I can actually type. So now we've got 4 copies of Witness Protection and only 2 copies of Negate, which is exactly what I wanted. We've got 4 copies of Mystical Dispute, 4 copies of Witness Protection, 3 copies of Cerulean Drake, which is new to what we're doing here. Mono Red's been picking up, and we lose really hard to Mono Red. So playing Cerulean Drake kind of solves both of those issues, right? Like, your opponents aren't going to be able to attack as cleanly. Putting this thing on a Curious Obsession is basically lights out against them. And yeah, that's kind of everything we want in that matchup. We've got 2 copies of Essence Capture, which is a card I've actually overlooked. I saw this in somebody else's list, I don't remember whose. And that's kind of a thing that was a pretty big deal back when Mono Blue Tempo with Tempest Djinn was a thing in Standard. So I don't necessarily mind the idea of playing a couple of Essence Captures here, just in case we fight something that has a lot of creatures that we don't really want to deal with. Again, Greasefang, again, Mono Red. There's going to be a lot of things that Essence Capture is going to be very good against. So I'm looking forward to playing 2 of those. And then, of course, 2 copies of Negate, because we don't want to get comboed out by decks playing, I don't know, things like Karn the Great Creator or whatever. We don't really want to deal with opposing sweepers like Wrath of God Effect, Shatter the Sky, Storm's Wrath, whatever exists in Explorer, we don't want to deal with it. The cool part about Explorer is that Supreme Verdict does not exist, which means Negate is always going to be good against opposing sweepers. So fingers crossed that they don't put Supreme Verdict in for a pretty long time, but Honestly, we've been dealing with that just fine in Pioneer anyway. If your opponents are playing cards like Supreme Verdict, you just take out See a Guard Approach, you can start playing Slip Out the Back, you can play more copies of Faceless Haven, so that your opponent's lives are a little bit miserable when they do cast a Supreme Verdict, they're still stuck looking at threats. So that's going to be what we do if that ever does enter the format, but for now I think I like this. So we're going to go ahead and play a few matches, same as always, see if we can go ahead and rank up a little bit today, and I'll see y'all in the first match. Okay, so we got our first match here. We are on the draw, and yeah, I've actually noticed this when I was going over the deck list. So adventure cards, not just Brazen Power, have this weird bug on where like the adventure part is all popped out like this, and on the draw this is a little awkward, but I think I'm still gonna keep it. We've got double counterspell even if they're just 4 spikes. Stomping Ground means I'm probably fighting some aggro deck, which makes my Brazen Power's bounce a little bit better. Not great, but a little better probably. Uh-oh, Burning Trees. I might take everything I said back about this being okay. That's annoying, but not the end of the world. Okay, so here I can go ahead and Lofty Denial the Bone Crusher Giant if they just cast it. I take my 2, and then I can untap and start cycling Shark Typhoon or playing Brazen Bower. Please get out of my face. This is not favorable, but it is also not the worst. I don't know that I want to bounce this Burning Tree Emissary. Like, I feel like that's just not really something that I want to be doing, but I will cycle Shark Typhoon for 1, and even if they kill this with, I don't know, insert red spell here, I'll still be pretty glad about having drawn a card off of this. And if your plan is gonna be to shut this out with some kind of removal spell, now I have Lofty plus Spell Pierce, so that's not exactly gonna work. So let's do that, make them pay 4. If they have another thing, I can Spell Pierce, like so. So now my Curious Obsession's gonna hit, they don't have a Bone Crusher Giant, I get to start drawing cards, and opponent can totally do something about this, but I still have an entire array of things to do after that. So if this is a 3rd Bone Crusher Giant, then yeah, sure, you got me. But if it's just like another Lightning Strike, oh, hell yeah, that's almost best case scenario, right? Where they just used like an entire turn to deal with my stuff, and now I get to just untap and start presenting counterspells and threats and things. This is surprisingly nice. And if my opponent has something here, I actually don't know that I want to counter that. I think I want to... No, I definitely want to counter that. I'm lying to myself. I'm just going to cast this and then Lofty Denial the Questing Beast. So they're going to get to attack me. I'm going to go down to 9. And hopefully this matters. So let's draw a card here. Hopefully it's important. That's not the worst. It's not great. If this is a removal spell off the top of their deck for the Brazen Bower, then I actually am sad about that. But for now, I'm going to at least give myself the chance to get a decent block in here. I'm actually going to block here. Reason for that is if I draw another Brazen Bower and I bounce this... No, that's actually worse. Let's just do this. And Voltaic Brawler. You got it. We did draw another Brazen Bower. Okay, not really what I wanted to see there, but that's okay. So let's see if this is something that's not named removal spell. So I'm gonna let them pay the energy, and now we're gonna bounce the Voltaic Brawler, take our 2, go to 5. Hell yeah, let's go. All right. So I don't know that we didn't really steal a game there, but I definitely feel like we stole a game. So here I'm going to be pretty content with the Essence Captures and the Cerulean Drakes. Witness Protection also seems pretty decent. Things that I don't really want against them, Lofty Denial costing 2 is kind of a pain in the ass. Geistlight Snare is not much better. And taking out 3 other cards, I think Spell Pierces might be the go-tos here. Yeah. Because we haven't really seen any Planeswalkers out of them, but I definitely want UC Guard approaches. The tap mode is going to be good, the hexproof is going to be better, Fading Hope is going to be pretty decent here, and I'll be pretty excited about the Cerulean Drake having Pro Red. The only real downside to the Cerulean Drake bit is that Stomp, not Bone Crusher Giant, but the actual adventure card Stomp, does beat protection if I try to block. So we'll have to be a little bit aware of that as we are going to be on defense because we're on the draw here. However, our hand's not bad. Double Witness Protection is pretty decent. You see a Guard Approach is great. Essence Capture is great. And let's see what we come up with. Hopefully this isn't just like another crazy Burning Tree Emissary start. Werewolf Pack Leader. So that's going to be a pretty prime candidate for my Witness Protection here. Hi, get out of my face. Being a 1/1 and you not drawing cards is kind of exactly what I want here. The only real downside to this turn is that I'm not going to get to cast my Essence Capture, but I do love this. Okay, that's fine. I'll take my 1. Can I draw a CO here? No, I can't, but that's okay too. So let's go ahead and do this. If they cast something like a questing beast, I'll be pretty glad to... Oh, I guess that's fine. I'll just bounce this then. Take my 1, go to 18, and what do we cast? Just that. Okay, you got it. And that's a lot of those, but okay. Another Witness Protection. Wow. And I'm going to hold off on this last Witness Protection so that my opponent doesn't suspect all of this interaction. Instead, we can just hopefully work with Brazenbower here. Actually, no. I'm going to Witness Protection this too. This way, if they play a creature pre-combat and attack, I will get to Essence Capture onto the Spectral Sailor and get a decent block in. So let's do this and play around something with haste. No? Okay. That's fine too. So I'll take my 3. 5 mana is a Scavenging Ooze. Alright, I am still walking into a protection spell like this, but I'm sorry, a removal spell like this. Okay, yeah, sure. That's actually not even that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. So here I can Brazenbower, hold up, you see a guard approach, untap Curious Obsession, and I'm only going to 12 here, so that's not that bad for me. So let's see if I get to untap. Looks like I will. Shark Typhoon's a pretty decent draw, I think. Okay, so now we get to draw. Fading Hope is also pretty decent. And I do love the fact that I'm going to get Hexproof out of this. So I go to 9. Opponent does what? A Burning Tree. You got it. Into another Voltaic Brawler. You got it. Okay. And since we know that they don't have anything else here, I'm just going to cycle this for 1. Get my card draw in while I can. Rattle Chains is also not bad. Double Rattle Chains is actively great. So I'm going to take them to 10. What do we draw? A land. That's actually kind of perfect because now I get to cast Rattle Chains and Fading Hope targeting this Voltaic Brawler. So I'm going to get a lot of pretty decent blocks in here. And that's kind of exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to give itself Hexproof, give itself Hexproof, and like this, we're still going to get rid of this, get rid of, which one is carrying that? That's the one I want. I want you dead. Or do I want to just kill this? No, I think I'm going to just do this, take the 5 and go to 4, holding up, you see a guard approach / Fading Hope. Ascended Spirit's a pretty good draw. So they go to 6, we get to draw a card. A land is actually kind of perfect because now I get to threaten pump, but we know that I have 1 pump and double interaction. So you can use your energy. I'm gonna pump here. Do this, block here, and then Fading Hope here. And I still get to have you see a guard approach. Oh my god, they just had nothing. Oh, that's so good. Yes, let's go. A very easy 2-0 over red-green aggro, which I suspected was going to be a hard matchup, but yeah, to the next game. Alright, we are on the draw, but our hand isn't bad, right? Like we got 1 drop, 2 drop to protect, counter spells, mana to pump, swamp, go. Well, I am still gonna do this. Yeah, I'm still just gonna do it. Oh, sick. I was gonna say, because if that was a fatal push, then honestly, so be it. And if it wasn't a fatal push, then it's all upside, and it wasn't a fatal push. Thoughtseize, joke's on you, I've got a pair. So I guess they just take the Lofted Denial, right? Because, like, they're not going to get to deny me protection in aggro plan, but they can deny me a counterspell, so they should probably do that. They took the second Ascendant Spirit. That's got to be a kill spell. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Okay. And there's a turn. So Spectral Sailor is not actually a bad draw. Against these red-black piles, I want nothing really but just protection, right? And I want that out of my face. Ooh, let's go. That's great. So now I get Spectral Sailor and Protect It. Annoying, but that doesn't beat my Curious Obsession by itself. Okay. And I'm gonna keep up with this clock, so I'm just gonna play this Trespasser here. Whatever, give yourself Hexproof, I guess. So I'm gonna do this. All right, let's draw a card. And it's a land, which is actually not bad because I have both of these now. So that's still pretty decent for me. Okay. So I take 4 here, including your drain. You go up to 16. That is, in fact, fine with me. Oh, sick. They didn't even bother to attack, though? I think I still would have at least attacked. It's not like you can block. Be Devil. Well, you already knew I had this, so I'm just gonna cast it. I question my opponent's plays there, I think. That's actively really good to land draw too, because now I can Lofty Denial and Fading Hope too. A cool thing that I have access to is if they point... Oh, well, that's just not happening. But what I was going to say is if they wanted to go ahead and... Are you going to attack yet? Why are you not attacking, opponent? I have so many questions about that. So now they're on a 1-turn clock because they haven't been attacking. They could have exiled this and at least been up a life. Pretty for them, but it's something they would have had access to. So now I'm just going to get to do whatever I want. A super cool line I have access to right now too is use this, bounce my own Rattle Chains, and then Rattle Chains to protect this. I don't think I'll need it this game, but that is at least something that I have access to. And we're still just not attacking with this Graveyard Glutton? Why? So, oh my god, you are so dead. I'm sorry, opponent. That was your plan? I'm just gonna do this. I'm not gonna show them the Fading Hopes. They already know I'm playing Lofty Denial, so it's no big deal to show them that. So things I want here. I want Essence Captures. I only kind of want Cerulean Drakes, not really. Is that really the only change I want to make against Black-Red? It might be. Yeah, I don't think I want Negates more than I want Geistlight Snares or Lofties, because I still want to be able to hit things like Graveyard Gluttons. Spell Pierce is still good enough against cards like Sorin and Chandra. Obviously removals, we saw Graveyard or Meathook Massacre. So I think I'm just going to keep the deck like this. Yeah, just a couple of minimal changes, and hopefully the Essence Captures proves to be a little bit better than Fading Hopes. I don't really know that we need much else. Playing against the Thoughtseize decks, though, it will make me a little sad that we're playing less than 4 Shark Typhoons in this very specific matchup. Oh my. Oh, that's good. So, obviously a Thoughtseize ruins our day here a little bit, but I'm still pretty okay with this. Okay... Duress. Okay, so they can take any of these 3, but I still get to keep my Spectral Sailor. So I suspect that my CO is going to be gone. They took the Spell Pierce. Okay. That means that they have to have some kind of instant speed removal for my Spectral Sailor. Like, that's just got to be what's happening here. I think I'm going to untap anyway. Yeah. I don't mind untapping here. So that basically wastes their entire turn, but that's fine by me. If they play just like a creature, I'll just flash this in and have CO the following turn. If they play nothing, then what do I do if they do nothing? I could also just do nothing for another turn, holding up Spectral Sailor Essence Capture the following turn. That seems okay. I do want to be attacking sooner rather than later, but I feel like making land drops actually favors me, because all of my cards basically beat their removal as long as I'm allowed to play all of my cards. So I guess I'm just gonna do this, and I don't have any creatures, so that's whatever. Okay, so now I'm gonna get to Spectral Sailor and Rattle Chains almost no matter what my opponent does, which means I should untap with at least 1 creature to be able to use with my CO. Akroxa is honestly unimportant. I don't mind just discarding a land. Actually, that works out pretty well for me. I do have to worry about this a little bit later, but if that's the only thing I have to worry about for now, then I think I'm okay. So let's just do this. Got a removal? The answer seems to be no. That's really good. So I'm gonna try this first. Okay, let's attack. That's a pretty good draw too. So what do we got going on? 3 cards? Okay. 3 cards means that I'm gonna... What was that? Another Kroxa. Okay. So here I'm gonna discard Faceless Haven and take another 3. Okay. Now, I do still want to draw another land, though, because I want to give myself... That's not bad either, though. Draw me a land. Thank you! So now I can play Cemetery Illuminator and still hold up Rattle Chains, which is what I wanted out of this turn. So let's get rid of one of these Kroxas to start with. I already played a land this turn, so I'm going to do Kroxa. And they have 3 cards in graveyard now. Okay, cool. Bone Crusher Giant here. So if I protect this, and this is a Meathook Massacre for 2, then I guess I get got there. I get to keep my Cemetery Illuminator, which is probably more important. Oh, Fable. That's whatever. Okay. A creature... I will play a creature, and I can... You don't have a land or anything I can do off the top. That's fine, I guess. I'm still going to take care of this Crux. I'm not going to mess around with anything else cute, because this is the land drop I want to make anyway. Oh, yeah. Oh, never mind. That was a Flame Blessed Bolt. Okay. Hell yeah, let's go. All right. Pretty clean game so far over red-black mid-range. Let's play one or two more. Ooh, rank up too. All right, so this time we get to be on the play with a pretty damn good hand. Let's go. All right, this is the stuff. So if this gets to survive, then we are in a very happy position. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm playing against, but for what it's worth, this hand does not make me sad. So let's see what our opponent comes up with. Don't kill this. This doesn't do anything. Don't look at it. All right. Where is it? So we're just going to CO on here against Temple Garden. And Temple Garden could be anything. It could be angels. It could be some Bant thing. It could be humans. So I'm a little excited to see what it is we're playing against. It is, in fact, angels. Okay, we're looking at a Bishop of Wings. So medium dilemma. I think I am still supposed to just Geistlight Snare this thing, try to draw another counterspell for a Righteous Valkyrie next turn, and go from there. That is not bad. It's not what I wanted, but it's not bad. That's actually okay. So here I'm protected against something like, say, a Skyclave Apparition or a Brutal Cathar with my Rattle Chains. You see a guard approach can tap their creatures and let my CO keep doing things. And then Cemetery Illuminator can, over the course of a couple of turns, get me some card advantage here and there. So I'm still pretty okay with this. I really want them to just try to Skyclave me, though. Damn. I think I want to use this proactively. A Brazen Borrower is a great draw. Okay. And so is a land. I am pretty happy about that. So now I can bounce the Righteous Valkyrie in response to whatever else they plan on casting here, and that still gives me enough mana to be able to Rattle Chain. Oh, hell yeah, let's go. So now that's just not going to have text, because I get to do this. Protect my friends. Brazen Borrower is going to be able to bounce the Righteous Valkyrie too. Okay. Let's see if they try to attack. If they try to attack, I'm not going to bounce. Okay. Another Rattle Chains is actively pretty good. I would like to draw a land, but whatever. That's fine too. I want to simply pass the turn. 5 mana, one of which is CO mana. Okay. Valkyrie again. You got it. And a Youthful Valkyrie. So I mean, they're going to gain 3. I can't really do much about that part. But I do have the option of pumping this now, making it a 5/5. I could Cemetery Illuminator in response. I can Shark Typhoon and try to draw something. So they're going to go up to 14. I think my play is going to be to do this. What's on top of my deck? It's a Spell Pierce. Okay. And I don't really care about that. So I'm going to just exile this. There's no land in anybody's graveyard. Okay. They only have 3 total power to play with here. Yeah. So if they go ahead and block, I will be pretty happy to pump here. Oh my god, no block? What, opponent? Oh man, too many lands on top. Yeah, go. So now I can pump this and protect it with Rattle Chains, which is nice. Fuck. I can cuss about that. Okay. That sucks. Yeah. I will be able to block the Righteous Valkyrie, which is nice. But Jesus. I'm gonna do this for 3 and try to draw a Brazen Borrower. A Lofty's a little late. You see a guard approach is a play. So is there an instant in my graveyard? There is. All right, so what I can do here is declare attacks, and before they can declare blockers, I can use the You See a Guard approach to tap Lyra and force a bad block with Ascended Spirits text. I have 6 mana, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving exactly 2 for Rattle Chains or Lofty. Okay, let's do that. But then this will just die. Damn it. And that has first strike, doesn't it? Shit. I think we might have lost this game. All right. My graveyard, take an instant. Tap this, and if they double block, I guess I'll be okay to take out the Righteous Valkyrie, but like if they just single block, then I guess my Cemetery Illuminator is not the world's worst trade. Okay. Righteous Valkyrie first, pump you. Yikes. All right, go. I want to get this Lyra off the table really bad. I will double block. I don't think I can beat that. So hopefully this isn't just like a Skyclave apparition or something. What's that? Oh, Bant land. Okay. Okay. It's not good, but it's not nothing. I think I just chill. Because if I can get this off the table, then I actually am okay. But I need to be able to get this off the table. They saw it coming. So I am going to be able to double spell pierce a collected company. So I'm just going to pump once here. Untap. Fading Hope is great. Fading Hope means I don't need to cast anything now. So that's actually kind of lit. Let's just pass. Yeah, that's not happening, opponent. So there's one. Here's two. And I can still pump you plus Fading Hope. Whoa, they took 2 damage for that. So that means I gotta be looking at another CO here. I'm sorry, collect company here. Alright. And if you respond with a collected company, then I can't do anything about that anyway. Skyclave and Bishop. Okay, so Skyclave is gonna take what? The Ascendant Spirit, maybe? I guess they could take the Illuminator? They are taking that. Okay, go away. Geistlight Snare is not bad. What is currently under my friend? A creature and an instant. Okay. Okay. So now I can Brazen Borrower to bounce Lyra. I won't be able to counter her, but if they cast something else first, I will. Okay. I'm actually pretty glad for that 2 damage here. They are going to gain the 4 life from Bishop of Wings, which is annoying, but I can't do anything about that either, so whatever. Do you attack now? You do. Sick. I'm pretty happy with that attack, actually. Hi, please get out of my face. So we're going to do that. We're going to deny the life link. And there's a Lofty on top of my deck. Okay. I'll go to 16. Put one of these on a table. Untap. I have 2 Lofties. Yes. Lyra is definitely countered now. All of these can attack. Okay. So we're showing lethal now, so I can counter Lyra for sure. I have exactly 3 counterspells worth of mana right now too, so we might have stolen one. Ascendant Spirit's on top, okay. And then use this one. I don't know that the difference really matters if I'm being completely honest, but yeah, whatever, I'll take 3. So if they block 3, they take 7, so I'm going to do this so that they guarantee take 8. Untap and kill you. Dukin. Keep her gone, I guess. Doesn't actually matter. Phew, let's go. Alright, so we stole a game 1 against Angels there. That's nice. And against them, I want Essence Captures, I want Witness Protections. Cards I don't really want include Spell Pierces. Even though we saw Collected Company, it doesn't really have any other targets. I don't really want... what else? I think the Cemetery Illuminators are a little medium. And I have to take out one more thing here. I think the one more thing is gonna be a Lofty Denial. I'm gonna choose Lofty over Geistlight Snare here because we're putting in Witness Protection, so Geistlight Snare is gonna be wicked easy to cast. But I think I like this. We're keeping in our bounce spells for their bigger angels. We got Essence Capture for their really giant threats like Lyra and stuff. And we've got a pretty good suite of removal into Witness Protection, so any of their Bishop of Wings are not going to be able to gain them a shit ton of life. Righteous Valkyrie is going to get grounded. We have lots of hexproof to protect against Skyclave, so I'm pretty confident about games 2 and 3. Game 1 is the really scary one, but we pulled that one off. And our hand is, yeah, we take those. Green first? Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't care, but that's kind of cool. Don't hate this. I think it's bad against me specifically. Maybe I lied. Okay, that's not a counterspell. Damn. Well, now that there's a 1/3 in my face, it's a lot better than it feels, or a lot better than it should be, I guess. So what do we got going on here? Is this Linvala? Ew. Please no. Heliod. That's, yeah, that resolves. I think I'm actually just going to Rattle Chains here. So if I Rattle Chains, cast CO on Rattle Chains, making it a 3/2, that forces almost the same scenario, whereas they block or take the damage here, but without giving them the extra card that casting this or this would. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm still just as protected against things like Skyclave Apparition. I can't beat a Collected Company right now anyway, so that's kind of whatever. A Bishop of Wings first, you can have that. So is this like land Giada? Land nothing. Do I want to just cast my Ascendant Spirit then? Yes. I want to just do this on my Spectral Sailor and guarantee that no matter how they block, I draw a card. Draw me a counterspell? And sometimes the deck is really nice, to just listen to you, right? So now if they just try to play some giant ass angel like a Lyra or something, like, it is way more than handled. So I'm just gonna do this now since I have the ability to counter a Collected Company. Yeah, absolutely not, opponent. And Witness Protection is actively really good here. So they will get to draw a card, but I can deny them this flyer and draw 2 cards. And I think my 2 cards plus continued attack is a lot better than their 1 card. So I'm going to do that. Land is actually good. 1 is good. 2 was not. Go. Another Bishop of Wings. I don't enjoy it, but it's gonna happen. So, oh, that's fine. If that's their plan, then I don't really care. They can give something lifelink if they want. You gotta target somebody else if you're gonna do that. It doesn't give itself lifelink. Yeah, another target creature gets lifelink, so I just don't care. Youthful Valkyrie. F in the chat. So that's a lot of life gain. I think I am going to bounce both of these. Yes. And I'm just going to let them draw cards. So I don't want them to gain 8 life from the Youthful Valkyrie, but I can bounce both bishops. That's good. They can draw cards. Youthful Valkyrie is going to be able to hit the table, but then I'm going to be able to tap it. Like, yes, Shaper Sanctuary was basically Ancestral Recall here, but it doesn't matter if they're actually dead, so let's go. Whew. Look at us go. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna just take the ridiculously clean sweep here, and let's go over our deck list. Okay, so that was ridiculously clean, right? Like, we played against 3 decks, which I actually think have a lot of game against us, right? Like, all of those decks have the ability to play a lot of Magic, are all doing very powerful things, especially against us. And we beat a lot of things that honestly I don't know that we should beat, but we actually beat all of them 2-0. So that was ridiculously clean, right? Like, getting some super sweet W's against being on the draw against Gruul aggro when they had Burning Tree Emissary on turn 2 is actually kind of insane, right? And then they sideboard into a bunch more removal, like potentially Flame Blessed Bolts, things like Fry they have access to, and we still just got to beat up on all of that. We beat up on, what was the second deck? Oh yeah, Red-Black Midrange, which has honestly a pretty fantastic matchup against decks like ours, especially in Pioneer, where they also have cards like Rending Valley, but you know, they're playing things like Fatal Push, Bone Crusher Giant, Strangle, and we ended up being able to come over that and 2-0 them too. Cemetery Illuminator was actively fantastic against the Croxes, and having the combination of that plus Shark Typhoon for additional card draw when you're already playing things like Curious Obsession means that we got to keep the card flow coming really nicely, and our protective spells did a lot of work there. In this last matchup against Angels, we see that, you know, we really just kind of had one plan, right? Like, keep their stuff off the table, attack them, prevent their life gain if possible, and then just kind of go from there, right? And beating up on Angels when they get the start of like Righteous Valkyrie into a resolved Lyra, the fact that we were able to overcome that anyway with Bishop of Wings on the table is borderline mind-blowing. Like, I think the deck performed out of its mind today. Like, we had a really, really crazy set of matches. So overall, I'm clearly pretty happy with this. So good job to us. In the future, I think what I would do with this list is actually keep it pretty close to the same. The only thing that I might change here is taking out like 1 Spell Pierce and putting in like 1 more Geistlight Snare. Because we were able to proc it pretty consistently, right? Like, between the Curious Obsession and our sideboarded copies of Witness Protection, I might want more Geistlight Snare here than before, because we did play a lot of decks that are playing a lot of creatures, so I don't know whether that's indicative of Explorer just being that kind of format, or whether we're working with a relatively small sample size and I just didn't come across any of the controller combo decks that are seeing play in Explorer. To be determined as I actually play more Explorers, and that way we'll be able to figure out what's actually in this format. But for now, solid W. We went 3-0, 6-0 in games, and that's kind of absurd. I will be playing this a lot more, obviously, as we grind our way towards Mythic. And even though we're only playing a few matches at a time, I think I'll still be able to keep y'all updated with progress and such like that. So that should be a really good time as other matches come forward, as we see more decks in the format in the first place, and as we hopefully have a pretty easy path to Mythic. If it's anything like the matches went today, I totally expect to be there in no time at all. So if you're playing Mono Blue Spirits or Mono Blue Tempo, whichever, let me know what's in your list. What are you doing differently from myself? I expect you're probably not playing Shark Typhoon, so are you playing Supreme Phantoms and a more spirit-focused shell? Are you playing more of a tempo thing? Are you maybe even playing something like Tempest Djinn? Let me know in the comments exactly what you're doing with your blue decks in Explorer, or if you're simply playing something else, what is it that you're playing? Maybe you're playing Arc-like Phoenix with Ledger Shredders, maybe you're playing some blue-red control deck with Niv Mizzet. Either way, I'm curious. There's a lot of things and a lot of potential out here. As always, if you like what you're watching though, make sure to let me know by liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see y'all in the next one.